Merhabalar, iyi akşamlar sevgili öğrencilerimiz, değerli velilerimiz. Bir tane daha çok güzel, webinarımıza hoş geldiniz demek istiyorum. Kendimi öncelikle tanıtayım, daha sonra da sözü yetkilimize bırakacağım. Bugün, çok değerli bir üniversiteyi ağırlıyoruz. Cardiff Üniversitesi'ni, Galler'in başkentinde, Cardiff'te bulunan, ve birçok alanda çok büyük başarılara imza atmış bir üniversite. Yetkilimiz Megan Cooper çok daha detaylı bilgi aktaracaklar size. Sevda Öncelbat benim ismim. BEB British Education Büro'nun kurucusuyum. Aynı zamanda eğitim direktörüyüm şirketimizin. Peki BEB kimdir? BEB bu organizasyonu Cardiff Üniversitesi ile birlikte gerçekleştiren kurum. Cardiff Üniversitesi'nin Türkiye'deki resmi temsilcisi. Biz 2002 yılında Oxford'da kurulduk. İngiliz ve Türk kurucularına sahibiz. 19 yıldır da İstanbul, Ankara ve İzmir'deki ofislerimizde öğrencilerimize hizmet sunuyoruz. Uzmanlık alanımız İngiliz eğitim sistemi. Üniversitelerin giriş şartları, başvuru süreci gibi süreçleri kapsıyor. Tüm danışmanlarımız İngiliz eğitim sistemine vakıf, bu konuda eğitimler almış ve hala eğitimler almaya devam ediyoruz. Uzman bir kadrodan oluşuyoruz. Birleşik Krallık'ta 130 tane üniversite vardır. BEB 90'ının Türkiye'de resmi temsilciliğini yapan bir kurum. Temsilciliğini yaptığımız üniversitelerimiz için de ücretsiz hizmet sağlıyoruz sizlere. Birleşik Krallık'ta 130 devlet üniversitesi var dedik. Şöyle ki, üniversiteler devlet üniversitesi, YÖK denkliğine sahip, özellikle %95'i YÖK denkliği var olan üniversiteler. Birleşik Krallık'ta interaktif bir eğitim sistemi modeli uygulanır. Bu da çok keyifli ve kalıcı bir eğitimi sağlar öğrenciler için. Lisans eğitimi İngiltere'de, Galler'de ve Kuzey İrlanda'da 3 yıl, İskoçya'da ise 4 yıldır. Lisans öncesi hazırlık dediğimiz, eğer not ortalamamızın yeterli olmadığı noktalarda bizi not ortalaması bazlı yükselten bir yıl akademik hazırlık sınıfları vardır. Bunlar Türkiye'dekinden farklı, İngilizce hazırlık sınıfı değildir. Foundation dediğimiz akademik hazırlıktır ve bir yıl sürer. Lisans eğitiminde bir de sandwich ya da belki de work placement diye adlandırılan bir yıl vardır. Bu da birçok programa dahil edilen 3 yıllık eğitime artı bir yıl daha dahil edebildiğimiz işe yerleştirmeli programlardır. Bazı bölümlerde mevcuttur. Yüksek lisans eğitimi bir yıldır, master diye nitelendiriyoruz. Master'ın da hazırlık yılı vardır. Tıpkı lisans eğitimindeki gibi. Orada da İngilizce hazırlık değildir, tamamen akademik hazırlık sağlanır. Pre-master programı adı verilir. O da bir yıllık bir süreci kapsar. Doktora eğitimi ise 3 yıllık bir süreçtir. Mezuniyet sonrası İngiltere'de 2 yıl oturum izniyle iş bulma imkanı sağlanıyor. Yeni bir yasa ile geçtiğimiz yıl mezun olan öğrencilerimiz bu haktan yararlanan ilk grubumuz oldu. Dünya başarı sıralamasında ilk yüzde bulunan üniversitelerde eğitim alma şansı da elde ediyoruz Birleşik Krallık'ta. Çünkü Birleşik Krallık'ın özellikle üniversitelerinin başarı çıtaları çok yüksektir ve sadece birkaç tane üniversiteyle sınırlı değil, en azından 40 tanesi dünya sıralamasında ilk yüze giren üniversiteler arasındadır. Bu da çok büyük bir avantajdır. 3 yıl lisans eğitimi 3 yıl dediğimiz 3 farklı ana bilim dalı var. Eğer tıp okuyacak isek, okumak istiyor isek 3 yıl değil 10 yıllık bir süreç bizi bekler. Aynı şekilde mimarlık ve hukuk içinde eğer bu alanlarda kariyerimize devam etmek istiyor isek ve 3 yıllık lisans eğitimi sonrası İngiltere'de ya da Avrupa'da mimar ya da avukat olarak kariyerimize devam etmek istiyor isek 7 yıllık süreçleri tamamlamak durumundayız. Gidiş şartı olarak da bazı farklılıklar mevcut. Özellikle istenilen bazı farklı testler var. Özellikle bu 3 ana bilim dalında eğitim almak isteyen öğrencilerimiz bizlere daha sonra ulaşabilirler. Memnuniyetle yardımcı olur, destek sağlarız. Eğitim alanları yelpazesi çok geniştir Birleşik Krallık'ta. Gördüğünüz üzere aslında aklınıza gelebilecek her alanda eğitim alma şansımız mevcuttur. Ben sözü yetkilimize bırakmak istiyorum. Eğer bizlere ulaşmak isterseniz de buradaki numaralarımızdan ya da iletişim bilgilerimizden bizlere ulaşabilirsiniz. Sorularınız olursa eğer sunum esnasında hand butonu var, el butonu. El butonunu kullanarak sözlü soru sormak isteyebilirsiniz. Alabiliriz sorularınızı ya da arzu ederseniz sunum sonrasında chat box'a sorularınızı yazdığınız takdirde de mutlaka ben sesli bir şekilde okuyacağım ve Megan'a yöneltiyor olacağım sorularımızı. Megan, it's over you now.
Thank you very much. So thank you everybody for joining. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see our presentation. Okay, so my name's Megan and I work for Cardiff University. So I am based within the international office at Cardiff. I've been with Cardiff for about 3 years. And today I'm going to talk to you about Cardiff University, entry requirements, accommodation, what it's like to study in Cardiff and Wales. And I've also got some pictures in there as well. So you've got a bit of an idea about what it looks like in Cardiff and what it looks like to live in Wales as well. First off, a little bit about the university. So we are a traditional university. We were established in 1883. So we are about 135 years old. We've got a prestigious heritage. And we are one of the Russell Group universities. So the Russell Group universities are typically the top universities in the UK. We are made up of 3 colleges. And within those colleges, there are 20 different academic schools and over 350 courses across undergraduate, postgraduate taught and postgraduate research levels. So we have got a really, really wide range of courses. We are one of the largest universities in the UK. We have about 32,000 students at Cardiff. And about 8,500 of those students are international. So we're really an international university with students in Cardiff from over 140 countries. In terms of our Turkish students, we have at the moment about 25 Turkish students at Cardiff University. I talked a little bit about our colleges. So this is our first college that we're going to talk about. So this is Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And you can see there the list of the schools that make up this college. And secondly, we have the College of Biomedical and Life Sciences. And again, you can see the list there of the schools that make up this college in the university. And finally, Physical Sciences and Engineering, and again, the schools that sit within this college. So as you can see, we've got a really, really wide range of subject areas that you have the opportunity to study from at Cardiff. For our rankings, I mentioned that Cardiff University is a Russell Group university, so we are one of the top universities in the UK, and a lot of our courses are ranked within the top 5 or top 10 in the UK, and also within the top 50 or top 100 in the world. You can see there the different courses and our rankings. So top 50 in the world, for example, we have architecture, biological sciences, we have communication and media studies, dentistry, engineering. So there's lots and lots of different courses. And as I mentioned, the majority of our courses are very highly ranked. So you're in good hands at Cardiff University. So entry requirements. So for undergraduate, we can now accept students that have studied the Turkish high school diploma. So they can be considered for direct entry for our undergraduate programs. And typically we look for about 80% in the high school diploma. If you're studying A-levels, a typical offer is about an AAB. We do consider a range of different qualifications. At postgraduate level, we look for about 60% or a GPA of 2.5 and above. And our English language, normally a minimum of 6.5 in your IELTS, that's your overall score, and about 5.5 in the subsections. Although our entry requirements do vary from course to course, and all of that information is available on our website. The work experience opportunities. So work experience is really, really embedded in Cardiff University's courses. So it's really, really important to us that we offer our students not only the opportunity to study in a highly ranked academic environment, but also to be able to put what you've learned into practice and have those work experience opportunities. Now, these opportunities are across all levels of studies. And we have many of our courses, we have the opportunity where students can do a professional placement year. So this will be where you have a minimum of 9 months working in industry, and you're really able to put what you've learned in your course into practice. There are opportunities for students to have a year abroad as well, so that work experience doesn't necessarily have to be done within the UK. You can do that abroad. We have other work experience and internships opportunities as well within the courses. And we've also got a designated team of work experience officers. Now it's their job to actively source, promote, and support work experience opportunities for students. And then also we have the careers team. So the careers team are there to help students with anything to do with job searching, job applications, so they can help you with your CV writing, with interview skills and mock interviews. They can help you with writing applications, and they're there to help students. So you can meet with the careers team as little or as often as you want. Of course, there's no additional cost. That's all included in your tuition fees. And within that team, we've also got an international careers advisor. So it's their job to specifically help international students. So there's lots and lots of different opportunities for support and work experience at Cardiff. So these are an example of some of our courses where we offer the opportunity to have a placement year or a year abroad. You can see the courses there that have the asterisks next to them. They're the courses that we also offer an opportunity to do a placement year in your postgraduate studies as well. As well as the placement year, please remember that you can also have opportunities to do smaller work experience around your studies as well. Just an example of some of our placement years. So for example, psychology, some of our students have worked in prisons and hospitals, research units, counselling sessions, rehabilitation clinics. So they've been really, really interesting placements. And then in terms of engineering, as another example, some of our students have actually had the opportunity to spend a semester in one of our overseas institutions. So that's where you can have that opportunity to work abroad. This is just a little picture so you can get a little bit of an idea about what Cardiff University looks like. So this is our main building. This is where our Vice Chancellor sits, and we also have teaching facilities available in this building as well. So a lot of the university looks like this. They're really beautiful, old, grand buildings. For anybody that might be a fan of Doctor Who or Sherlock Holmes, the BBC have actually filmed those programmes in Cardiff University. So there's a famous scene where on Doctor Who they're running out of the door, and that's actually in this building at Cardiff University. So where will you be staying? Our accommodation is all within walking distance to the university. There's 17 different residences to choose from, and as I mentioned, they're all close to campus, so they're all within walking distance to where you'll be studying. 70% of our bedrooms are en suite, so you'll have your own private bathroom. You have the choice to either be catered or self-catered. We have single sex and we have mixed gender accommodation. And all again within walking distance for accommodation, there's lots of social and sporting facilities. So all of the university facilities are within close reach. In terms of support, we have residence life assistants that are on hand to help all of our students. And it's a very, very secure environment because we have 24-hour security as well. The average cost for university accommodation is anywhere between about £104 to £148 per week. £148 per week would be the catered option. So that cost actually includes some of your meals as well. So here's a picture of what our typical accommodation looks like. And it's also worth mentioning that accommodation is guaranteed for our international students. So this is a picture of what a typical shared area would look like. So you have your kitchen, there's an area where you can eat from, there's a sofa there. And typically you would have about 5 to 6 people sharing this living space. And then you'd have your own private bedroom. So as I mentioned, about 70% of our bedrooms, you also have your own ensuite as well. So you'll have your own private bathroom. So, tuition fees. So this is a bit of a guide about what our tuition fees are at Cardiff. So you can see our undergraduate courses range from about £17,000 to about £22,000. And our postgraduate courses are about £18,000 to £22,000 per year. We are actually one of the most affordable Russell Group universities in terms of our fees. So if you're looking at a Russell Group university at one of those top ranked universities, Cardiff would be on the more affordable level for you. As well as fees, we also have scholarships. So we've got scholarships for Turkish students in the form of the Vice Chancellor's International Scholarship. Now, this is an automatic tuition fee reduction of £2,000. That's across undergraduate and postgraduate levels. And you can get this scholarship across a very large number of our subject areas. Now, as I mentioned, it's an automatic scholarship. So all you need to do is meet or exceed the conditions stated in your offer, and then you'll automatically be awarded the scholarship. So there's no additional application needed to get this scholarship. There's no registration forms to fill out. It is very much an automatic scholarship. As well as tuition fees, it's also important to consider your living costs. So Cardiff is actually one of the most affordable cities for students to live in the UK. In 2019, we were actually voted the most affordable student city to live in. So as well as our tuition fees being lower for Russell Group, our living costs are also lower at Cardiff. You can see the estimated living expenses just on the side there. So undergraduate level is just under £9,000 per year, and postgraduate level we estimate it at about £11,500 per year. The reason why there's a difference is because postgraduate tends to be about 12 months, whereas undergraduate is about 10 months. So you just have a bit less time in the UK if you're doing an undergraduate course, because you finish your studies a little bit earlier in the semester. And the average monthly rent in Cardiff, so this is if you were to rent privately, is about £384 per month. And again, as I mentioned, because everything's within walking distance, that also keeps your costs really low because you're not having to pay for public transport. So now a little bit about Cardiff and Wales. So you may already know that Cardiff is the capital city of Wales. We are about 2 hours from London by train. We're based on the coast, so we have got beaches near Cardiff, we have a harbour area within walking distance of the university. And if you were to drive about 30 minutes north of Cardiff, you're in the Brecon Beacons, which is a national park with mountain ranges. So you get a capital city with all the amenities that a capital city has right on the coast and within a 30-minute drive to the mountains. So it's a really, really beautiful, great city to live in. We have an international airport in Cardiff, so about 30 minutes away from the university. And as I mentioned, we were voted one of the most affordable student cities to live in. There's also lots of history and lots of culture in Cardiff and in Wales. So there's a 2,000-year-old castle, which is right next door to the university. You could probably look out the windows of some of our teaching buildings and see the castle. Wales has actually got more castles per square mile than any other country in Europe. We have our own language in Wales, which is called Welsh. About 20% of the population speak Welsh, and you'll see on our road signs and on our building signs, it'll be in English and then it will be in Welsh underneath. So everyone speaks English, of course, but we've also got our own language in Wales. And we've got lots of museums across Cardiff and the country. And in Wales, it's actually free to visit a museum. So if you had some time on the weekend and you wanted to go and visit one of our museums, you don't have to pay to do that either. But this is just a picture of one of the castles that you can find in Wales. I mentioned that we were on the coast and we have beaches really nearby. So here's a picture of a beach, which would probably be about an hour's drive from Cardiff. And Wales is actually famous for its rugged coastline and famous for our beautiful beaches. Harbour area again, which is not too far from Cardiff. So if you had time on the weekend, you could visit this for the day and get back to Cardiff really easily. And again, just another picture of our coastline there. I mentioned the Brecon Beacons. So this is one of Wales's national parks, which is just north of Cardiff. And this national park is about 1,500 kilometres. So it's loads of green space, lots of mountain ranges, lots of beautiful lakes that you can go hiking. And as I mentioned, this is just a really short drive away from the university. Also known as a waterfall country. So we've got a really large number of publicly accessible waterfalls. So it's quite usual for people who live in Cardiff on weekends to go walk in and explore waterfalls and the mountains like this. So Cardiff as a city, we were voted 3rd in Europe for quality of life, and we're actually one of the safest regions to live in the UK. Also one of the greenest cities in the UK. So we've got over 330 parks and gardens in Cardiff. And you can see the picture there of the trees with just the castle poking up. So that's called Bute Park. That's next door to the university. So when I mentioned you can see a castle from the university buildings, that's the castle that you can see there. We are a relatively small city in terms of our population. We've got about 350,000 people living in Cardiff, and 20% of our population are students. So it's a really young, really vibrant city to live in. It's a multicultural city. There's an estimated 94 different languages that are spoken in Wales. So it's a very welcoming place to be. And we've got many religious and cultural facilities across Cardiff. So we have mosques, synagogues, churches and temples. A little bit more about what life's like in Cardiff. This is the Principality Stadium. So this is about a 10-minute walk from the university. So despite our small size, we're a relatively compact city. Cardiff is really a vibrant and exciting place to live. So Cardiff has hosted some major events in recent years. So the Principality Stadium hosted the 2017 UEFA Champions League final, so for football fans. We have the Cardiff University Half Marathon as well, which is the second largest half marathon in the UK. The Principality Stadium also hosts world-class music and global stars. So we've had people like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Coldplay, Justin Bieber have all performed in the Principality Stadium. There's lots of theatre and arts opportunities in Cardiff as well. So we've got the New Theatre, we've got the National Opera, we have Chapter Arts Centre. So these are all facilities for theatre and the arts. And as I mentioned, all within walking distance from the university. We have shopping arcades, we have food and drink, international markets and food and drink fairs in Cardiff as well. I mentioned Butte Park earlier, which is just next door to the university. So this is probably a better picture of Butte Park for you, and just poking up from the trees there is Cardiff Castle. So right next door to the main building of the university. I mentioned that Cardiff has got world-class sporting venues. This is a picture of inside of the Principality Stadium. So we have about 74,500 seats in this stadium. This picture is actually taken, I believe, from the Anthony Joshua boxing fight, which has been held in Cardiff quite a few times now. And it's also home to international rugby. So I don't know if rugby is a particularly big sport in Turkey, but it's a really, really popular sport in Wales. And when a rugby game's on, there's a real buzz and vibrancy to the city. And the stadium's right in the city centre. So it's a really busy, fun day to go out. I mentioned the UEFA Champions League final, so this is a photo of that. And for football fans, Gareth Bale is a very famous Welsh footballer. He's actually from Cardiff. And then I mentioned the harbour area in Cardiff. So this is a photo of Cardiff Bay. And there's lots of shops and restaurants in Cardiff Bay. Our government is also based in Cardiff Bay. So the building on the right-hand side is the Welsh Government building. And the building just at the back, which has got a rounded roof, that's the Wales Millennium Centre. So that's where lots of performances and theatre is held. So again, this is about 30 minutes walk from the university. So shopping, so if there are any shopping fans like me, Cardiff has got one of the largest shopping centres in the UK. So we've got all of the major stores, high street stores that you can think of, all under one roof, right in the city centre, again, 10 minutes walk from the university. We've also got a really large concentration of Victorian and Edwardian shopping arcades. So these are all in the city centre, and this is where you might be able to find smaller, more independent shops in Cardiff. Cardiff's actually got one of the oldest record stores in the world as well, which is called Spillers Records, and that can be found in Cardiff. It really is a great place to study at a top-ranked university, and it's an amazing place to live. So I live in Cardiff. I think it's a beautiful city. It's a safe city, a green city. It's got everything that capital cities have at a more affordable price, and we're on the coast and not too far from the mountains. So it really, really does tick a lot of boxes. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope everybody found it useful. And of course, I'm willing to take any questions that you may have.
There's one hand. Thank you very much, by the way, Megan, for the presentation. There's one hand from Kubra. I can give her to speak, ask the question.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I was going to ask about, I'm more interested in postgraduate studies. And I want to do, master's. And about the Vice Chancellor's scholarship. I was going to ask Yes, for the conditions and I thought like I didn't see, but postgraduate students can also use are applicable for that.
Yeah, so it's across undergraduate and postgraduate levels. So it depends on which course you choose to study, but our course list is very, very large. So there's a really large number of eligible courses for the scholarship. That information is available on our website as well. So as long as your course is on that list, which typically international students do choose those courses, and you meet the entry requirements, you will automatically get the scholarship. So there's nothing else that you need to do.
Okay, thank you. And also about like, are there any other opportunities for postgraduate students scholarship wise? Because I want to study in the UK for master, but I am not that wealthy. So I am like seeking for scholarships.
Sure,
So that's
I
why,
understand.
yeah.
So in terms of our scholarships, the only scholarship that we personally offer is the Vice Chancellor's Scholarship. However, you can look into funding opportunities within Turkey. And that's something that I know BEB will be able to help you with. And if you are to get a scholarship from somewhere else, you're not able to use that in conjunction with our scholarship. Typically, obviously, you choose a scholarship that has the higher value. But that's the only one that we personally offer. But it's worthwhile looking within Turkey if there are other opportunities for you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question.
And there is one more question, I think from Dilara.
Yeah.
Hi, I also have a question regarding to scholarships.
Sure.
So again, postgraduate studies.
Yeah.
I got accepted last year. I deferred it to this year.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I'm still eligible for the international scholarship.
Okay, so my advice would be to send the international office an email and they can check that for you. So I can just pop it in the chat box there. So if anybody wants to write that down, that you can. Which course are you going to be studying?
Hopefully urban design.
Urban design. So first off, it'd be worthwhile checking whether that course is on the eligible course list. From the top of my head, I believe that it is. And then if it is, then there won't be any problem. You'll be eligible for it this year, but it's worthwhile just double check. I've just popped the email address there. So if you want to email us, we can get back to you. We're really quick, so we normally get back to our students within 1 or 2 days maximum.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for your question. If anybody else has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them now. If you'd rather send an email with your questions, and of course that's absolutely fine too. Oh, we've got one here, I think. So that's a really good question. At the moment, we are hoping that we will be able to have face-to-face teaching. It's really hard to predict, as I'm sure you are all aware. So just to reiterate, the question is whether we'll be able to have online or face-to-face teaching in September. So we hope to have face-to-face teaching in September, although it is quite difficult to predict what the environment is going to look like. However, at the moment in the UK, we have got a really amazing vaccine programme. So I believe we vaccinated over 30 million people. And the government say that by the end of July, the whole population will be vaccinated. So including younger and student age people as well. So certainly by September, we imagine it to be a very, very safe place where things are more back to normal. So as things stand, we are hoping that we'll be able to have face-to-face teaching in September. So thank you for your question. You're welcome. So as I mentioned, if anybody has questions that maybe you don't want to ask now, or you may think of at a later time, you can send me an email. So I'll put my email address there too. Send me an email and I'd be more than happy to get back to you. It's worth mentioning we've actually got a bank holiday in the UK coming up. So the end of this week and next week we have a bank holiday. So if we are a little bit slower getting back to you, that's why, because we're not in the office. You're welcome to send me or the international office an email.
Megan, I think you covered everything. Well, thank you very much. If students have questions, they can email you, they can ask us, they can call us, they can pop into our offices. They're very, very welcome. Well, thank you very much, Megan, for your time. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Hope to see you very soon in Turkey again.
Yes.
Katılan herkese çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok sağ olun. Bir sonraki sunumda tekrar bir araya gelmek dileğiyle inşallah. İyi akşamlar diliyoruz. Hoşça kalın. Bye bye.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much for organising the event.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.